And with that, welcome back to part 3 of Love My Shadows, a TsukiYamaKageHina Halloween special. I'm so excited for this. As you know, we left off the last part at a very, very fluffy part, obviously, in the story. But I'm sorry, but you didn't have to wait for long, and I won't leave you waiting any longer, so let's jump straight into it. Let's go. What were you thinking? Never remove the object from the wound. Kageyama stared at his hands, now coated in the thick layers of blood, with the arrow between his fingers. He's not waking up. Tsukishima cursed under his breath as he pulled off his shirt and pressed it to the wound. It should be hopeless. He should have died hours ago from what it looked like, but he didn't care. Whatever the reason was he was still alive, he would be forever grateful. Quick, get the first aid kit. Hinata rushed to get up and out of the room, covered in blood from head to toe. I'm sorry, I didn't. Doesn't matter right now. Check for his breathing and help me remove the shirt. They did, and as soon as Hinata returned, all three of them did their best to patch him up. After they scarcely managed to stop the bleeding at his torso, they moved on to plaster the wound on his forehead with band-aids and clean the cuts on his arms and neck. When all was done, they helped him into comfortable clothes and carried him to the bed. Will he be okay? Maybe we can find a doctor who... It's too risky. I bet these wounds are from people who hunt whatever he is. And... God... I have no idea what is going on or how he's still alive, but... we can't... So we just do nothing? We did something. We did all we could. He's alive. I don't know how, but... A sob tore from his throat and interrupted him. He couldn't hold himself upright anymore, and Kageyama was immediately by his side to hold him. I want to do more. Something. Anything that will guarantee that he survives. But what if we just make it worse? We don't... Hinata teared up and wrapped his arms around Tsuki. I'm sorry. I'm afraid. I don't want to lose him. Me too. He buried his nose into the orange curls, seeking comfort in the familiar warmth of his and Kageyama's embrace. An involuntary whine escaped him as the black hair got up. He walked over to the injured, brushed the hair out of his face and checked his breathing. It'll be alright. I promise it'll be. I'm sorry. He wiped his tears away before they could fall and continued petting Yamaguchi's hair. It'll be alright. It had to be. The days passed. Dusk turned to dawn and dawn to dusk, yet nothing changed. Yamaguchi remained unconscious while the others cleaned the wounds and the flat, getting rid of everything of any trace reminding them of that day. His wounds seemed to heal, yet he wasn't waking up. Someone, mostly Kageyama, was always by his side, patting his head with a cool towel when he got too hot and getting an extra blanket when he got too cold. Sometimes he would move in his sleep or say their names. Once he even wrapped his tail around Kageyama's arm and pulled him closer, hugging his hand. How is he? Hinata stared at the toddler surprised as he entered the living room in a haste, worry invading his mind. I think he's waking up. Immediately Hinata jumped to his feet and reached for his phone to call Kei, who was currently grocery shopping. It was a lucky coincidence that the moment he pressed call, the door opened. What is going on? Is Tadashi alright? Just like Hinata, he reacted to the change with panic and worry. I think he's waking up. He dropped everything and followed the setter to Tadashi's room. Yellow-green eyes met his as he stormed in. Hey. Tadashi! He cried and rushed over, stopping by the side of the bed. Soon the other was surrounded by all three of them. He smiled up at them, tears glistening in his eyes. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you. It was all Hinata needed to hear before he threw himself around Yamaguchi's neck, sobbing. I was so scared you wouldn't wake up. Yamaguchi wrapped his arms around the smaller, his own tears overflowing. Hiccups and quiet sniffles filled the silence. I'm here. I'm awake. He nuzzled his nose into the orange curls, breathing in the soothing scent of sunflowers. It smelled like home. It wasn't until he went to wrap his wing around him as well that he noticed that he still was in his demon form. He gulped and slowly tried to back away, which was hard with Hinata clinging to him like he was about to pass. I'm sorry. I can't turn back right now. I guess I owe you an explanation. You owe us nothing. He looked at the setter surprised, who glared at him, yet his eyes were red-rimmed and full of worry. You almost died, and I only want you to get better. I don't care what this is about, unless it means you're still in danger. His eyes were blown wide as he took in the words. But... No, he's right. Do you have any idea how... I thought you were dead. I thought I would never get to see you again. I thought I would have to drag your body out of the apartment. Do you really think I care for a second that you suddenly have wings? Tadashi, you're incredibly precious to all of us. So, as long as you don't feast on human flesh, this... He motioned for his wings and ears, as well as the tail peeking out from under the blanket. Is the least of my concerns. You don't, right? Feast on human flesh, I mean. A wet laugh escaped Yamaguchi's throat, along with more tears as he shook his head. I wouldn't have cared either way. I would have helped you, you know? He was sure Hinata didn't mean it, but he very much appreciated the gesture. Thanks, Sho. I'm sorry. What for? I didn't tell you. It feels as if though I lied to you. These injuries, did you get them for being what you are? He nodded slowly. Then there is no reason to be sorry. This secret is what kept you alive. You couldn't know how we would react. It's logical, really. No one's gonna blame you. Hinata nodded enthusiastically, while Kagema reached for his hand hesitantly. Thank you for staying alive. I'm sorry for pulling out the arrow like that. They both flinched at the memory, and Kagema quickly wiped a tear away that managed to spill over. No. You saved me. Pulling out the arrow was exactly the right call. I mean, I know it wouldn't have been for humans, but I'm not, and this way my body could heal. You saved me, I swear. He squeezed Kagema's hand reassuringly and searched his gaze. Promise? I promise. Don't feel guilty. You saved me. The raven's bottom lip quivered as he let himself fall onto a chair they had placed beside the bed ever since the demon had gotten hurt. Thank you. Thanks. Tsukishima extended a hand to soothingly rub over his back. He knew how much guilt the setter felt ever since that night. This must be a breaking point for him. Everything's gonna be alright now, right, Yams? You're fine, right? Yeah, I'll be fine. I'm healing. Okay. He hid his face against the small of his neck and just snuggled closer. The demon patted his hair lovingly and kissed his temple. I love you so much. I trust you with my life. His eyes wandered over to Tsukishima. I might not owe you answers, but admit it, you have questions. A small grin flashed over his face. Just about 1 or 2 million. They chuckled. But they can wait until everything has settled and you feel better. However, then there will be no escape anymore. He laughed again, and Yamaguchi nodded tiredly. Just one more thing. You can go right back to sleep, but this is important. You said someone caused this, on purpose, I assume. Are they still looking for you? Probably. There are hundreds like them. Thousands all over the world. Demons aren't exactly popular. We have a bad reputation. But you don't have to worry. They got me while I was out hunting in the woods, but I made it back. They don't have wings, so they can't have followed me. He could see the questions forming in Tsukishima's mind, but the blonde simply nodded. So we don't have to lock all our doors and find the next best weapon? No, I don't think so. The blonde smiled and leaned down to kiss his forehead. You sure that you're gonna be alright? Yeah, I promise. He leaned into his touch and let a small purr slip past his lips. Hinata chuckled. I love when you do that. It's so cute. Is that a demon thing? Yamaguchi's cheeks burned up as he blushed bright red. Yeah, kind of. It's, Caps do that a lot, though then it's more high-pitched. And, well, we also do it when we feel comfortable with our mates. Hinata's eyes sparkled at this statement and he kissed his cheek. Yamaguchi was right and recovered quickly. Once all that was left was a red mark where the arrow had been, Tsukishima begrudgingly agreed that he could leave the bed. For a week, all the other 3 did was care for him, attack him with questions about demons, and help him to catch up on his studies. So, cuddling is a demon thing? Kakema softly hummed an acknowledgement as the other nodded, his chin resting on Yamaguchi's head, who had sat down in his lap with a cup of tea in hand, and happily purred as the sitter wrapped his arms around him. The taller drew patterns on his arms, making pleasant shivers run down his spine. The others had quickly learned how to touch him to make him feel at ease and satisfy his need for physical affection. They had fun coaxing him to transform and watched the patches of fur appear at his neck and his eyes changing into the vibrant yellow. Yeah, we usually live in bigger groups and cuddling is a bonding kind of thing. we build a nest and cuddle up together like a big sleepover. We should definitely do that too. It sounds like so much fun. Hinata walked in and immediately let himself fall onto the couch next to them. So, why did you leave your hive? I had to. He gulped. I had to because it would have been suspicious if I didn't. My family tries to pretend to be human, and the hunters know what that can look like. They know the signs, and if we do one mistake, the whole hive is at stake. Yams. He placed his cheek on Yamaguchi's thigh and looked at him with wide eyes before they narrowed again. I don't even get why they hunt you to begin with. Well, I guess some are actually afraid and believe all the stories about our kind. Others envy us for being stronger, and then others think they can steal or sell our powers, and then some want us to use us for their own gains. May that be to push their religion or political agenda, or simply to have an exotic pet. I heard it all. Well, I hate them all. He pouted and Yamaguchi laughed. It was a relief to know them on his side, to know that they loved him despite everything. Kageyama was still occupied playing with the hair and the fur on his neck, too caught up to take part in the conversation. He leaned down to kiss his neck, making the other shiver in surprise. Sorry. No, I like that. I'm just sensitive there. His face turned beet red, and he saw Hinata grinning up at him knowingly. Don't look at me like that. The ginger laughed and got up before giving him a quick peck on the nose. I love you. It made him blush even brighter as he pulled the ginger in by his collar for a real kiss. Love you too. That night, he got up to finally hunt again. He sat still for way too long, this time for real, and he couldn't wait to spread his wings again. He opened the window and took a deep breath of the fresh breeze. Tadashi. The voice made him hesitate and he turned around surprised. Hey. He smiled sheepishly. You're going on a hunt? Yeah, I kinda have to after all this time. Do demons need to hunt? Well, no. Technically, it's less of a need and more, well, it makes us feel free. And when we hunt together, it's a good way to bond, and I guess, in a way, it's good for our well-being, but not exactly a necessity. Tsukishima nodded slowly. Are you sure you feel well enough again? He nodded. Okay. Please be careful. I don't want to see you hurt again. Yamaguchi could see his hands shaking. With a swift motion, he hopped down from the windowsill and took the tallest hands in his. Don't worry, I promise to be careful. The last time I was distracted, but I have no reason to be anymore. Thanks to all the great care you have been giving to me, I'm much stronger now, and I will avoid the hunting grounds where I met the hunters. I will make it quick, I promise. He kissed the blonde's cheek and smiled widely. Tsukishima's eyes softened as he watched him. I'll be waiting for you. But you need to rest. It's the weekend. I don't have classes tomorrow, so no one cares if I sleep in. The demon sighed. knowing full well that there was no point in arguing. By the time he came back, all 3 of his boyfriends awaited him by the window. He laughed and happily gave them the flowers he picked for them. He scarcely managed to bring flowers instead of the sparrow he caught. It was an internal battle, and he probably should prepare them for potential gifts in the future. Thank you all for watching to the end. I hope you liked it. This series was so much fun to make. I love Halloween and I love demon AUs. Also, thank you so much. Special thanks for Chloe, who did the drawings in this video, and I'm so grateful. They look amazing. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you liked it, consider leaving a like because it really helps my channel grow. And tell me in the comments if you want more of these kind of AUs because I have so much fun writing them. But so far I only write them very infrequently, very rarely, because I don't think they're as perceived very well. So tell me in the comments though. And now I hope you have a wonderful and amazing day and happy Halloween!